Hey, good morning. We're at the end of the morning, but it's August 3rd, Monday. Great to be with you this morning. The thoughts for this week are going to center on Psalm 25. I'm going to invite you, I'm going to do sermon preparation again, so I'm going to invite you to come along with me as I do preparation for speaking on this psalm. It's Psalm 25 is, again, like Psalm 34, just a beautiful psalm that speaks to us where we are and gives us real hope. So I'm really excited to be able to go through it this week and see what God has for us here. Like Psalm 34, it's an acrostic poem. That means that, for the most part, it follows, each part of the psalm follows a different successive letter in the Hebrew alphabet. So there's a lot of order and structure here for us. It's a little bit differently in the way that we approach this type of literature, but this acrostic form lets us know that from A to Z, there's something powerful for us to learn. The psalm is broken down in various sections. We'll begin looking at the first 5 verses this morning, and it begins with a section on petitions where we ask God for things. So the first 7 verses have 3 petitions. We're going to look at 2 of them this morning in verses 1 through 5. So let me read those for you. To you, O Yahweh, I lift up my soul. I've been using Dale Ralph Davis's translation again, just to get a good flow from the Hebrew from there. To you, O Yahweh, I lift up my soul. My God, I have trusted in you. Let me not be put to shame. Do not let my enemies gloat over me. Indeed, all who wait for you will never be put to shame. Those who are treacherous for no reason, they will be put to shame. Make me to know your ways, Yahweh. Teach me your paths. Lead me in your faithfulness and teach me. For you are the God of my salvation. You are the one that I wait for all day long. So these words of encouragement and beauty help us center our lives on what's really important in life. So the first 3 verses, again, let me read them again, and they are a petition for relief of God's deliverance. Not just being delivered, but to know the beauty of that relief. To know what it means to be cared for, not just to get beyond, but to see God's hand in how he's delivered us and how he's brought relief. Turn to you, O Yahweh, I lift up my soul. In other words, he's opening himself up to God, because he has trust in God, but God's got a fear for him. Then the second verse says, my God, I have trusted in you. Let me not be put to shame. Don't let my enemies gloat over me. So he goes from this position of strength and opening to God to being very concerned, even kind of in an anxious way, about his enemies winning the day and him losing. He says, don't let me be put to shame. You know, we know about this. We don't want to be embarrassed. We don't be afraid, so we don't want that to happen to us. I've trusted in you, God, so don't fail me. It's kind of a nervous cry. But then in verse 3, he reverts again, and he says, indeed, all who wait on you will never be put to shame. Those who are treacherous for no reason, they will be put to shame. So see, there's this hope. There's this combination here of steadfastness. I can look to God. Wow, I'm overwhelmed by things. It's hard for me. Don't let me be put to shame. And then, no, back to confidence. Indeed, all who wait on you will never be put back to shame. And that combination of events is one that is very typical of us. And Davis comments on this. He says, indeed, are not most of our prayers a mix of assurance and anxiety, of trust and trouble? You see, the psalmist, David, he knows our hearts through the work of the Holy Spirit. This is what we're like. We want to believe, yet, Lord, help my unbelief. We want to trust, and yet we worry about not trusting. So that's a powerful truth for us to hang on to. And then the encouragement that's here in the last 2 verses is interesting. This is a petition to enjoy the way God works in his world. And we so often miss that. God is doing so much, and if we don't see him at work, we won't give him his proper due in terms of worship. So make me to know your ways, Yahweh. Teach me your paths. Not just simply right and wrong, but help me to love and appreciate the way you do things. Your paths are the way that you do things. Your ways are the righteous ways that are there. Let us be excited about those things, not just a matter of checking off rights and wrongs. And then this last section we'll look at this morning. Lead me in your faithfulness and teach me. Many translations will translate this truth, but Davis is talking about the application of truth here. He thinks the Hebrew is best conveyed here by faithfulness. And that's consistent with our experience of wanting to know how to trust him in his word. For you are the God of my salvation. You are the one that I wait for. And your translations may say something like, you are the one that I hope for, or my hope is in you. But this structure, there's a personal aspect to it. You, the presence of God, the one who's doing all these things around us, whose ways are beautiful, that's the one I wait for. So to see there's a personal dimension of hope and beauty in this psalm. And that's what we're going to leave it with today. Long to know the beautiful experience of seeing how God works so that we are not overcome by shame and fear, but we know the one who is there for us and cares for us all day long. And that's the thought for today. And we'll see you tonight. Have a great day. Bye-bye.